This week on The Bold and the Beautiful, emotions ran high, conversations carried deeper meaning, and it became clear that not everyone is being honest with others or with themselves. There was a noticeable shift in energy as familiar dynamics began to feel unsettled. What once seemed stable now feels uncertain, and what was once predictable is starting to move in a new direction. Several characters found themselves reflecting on past choices, some with regret, others with renewed determination. The past continued to loom large, reminding everyone that unresolved issues don't simply disappear. They wait, and eventually, they demand attention. Throughout the week, trust became a central theme. Who can be relied on? Who is acting out of loyalty, and who is acting out of self-interest? Not everyone was upfront about their true intentions, and some conversations felt layered, polite on the surface, but loaded underneath. It was one of those weeks where what wasn't said felt just as important as what was spoken out loud. There was also a growing sense that certain boundaries may be blurring. Emotional lines appeared to shift, leaving viewers to question whether certain connections are stronger than they're willing to admit, or more dangerous than anyone realizes. Meanwhile, ambition continued to play a major role. Decisions were being made that could have lasting consequences, even if the full impact hasn't been felt yet. Some characters seem ready to push forward at any cost, while others are quietly questioning whether the path they're on is the right one. Relationships remained complicated and fragile. Trust felt delicate, motives felt unclear, and more than one bond appeared to be under pressure. As the week came to a close, it became obvious that the calm we're seeing now may not last much longer. There's a sense that something bigger is building, something that could shift alliances, test loyalties, and force difficult truths into the open. Nothing exploded just yet, but the warning signs are there. And if this week taught us anything, it's that every choice matters, even the quiet ones. What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive into everything that went down on The Bold and the Beautiful on Monday, January 26, 2026, because this episode was all about secrets, temptation, and risky decisions that could change everything. The biggest shock of the day came from Steffi, who made a sudden and unexpected move by swapping places with Ivy on a business trip to San Francisco with Elektra. On the surface, it looks like a smart business decision, but there's clearly more to it than that. This switch could put Ivy directly in the path of a secret that's been quietly brewing between Will and Dylan. And if Ivy notices even the smallest slip, the fallout could be huge. Speaking of Will and Dylan, the tension between them continues to build. Dylan is clearly struggling to keep her promise to Elektra to respect boundaries, and despite her best efforts, her feelings for Will refuse to fade. There's temptation, lingering looks, and unresolved emotions that just won't stay buried. With Ivy planning to keep a close eye on them, especially at the beach house, it feels like it's only a matter of time before something is exposed. Meanwhile, Katie's instincts kick in. She starts questioning Will, sensing that something isn't quite right. Katie knows when people are hiding things, and her concern suggests that the Will and Dylan situation may not stay under wraps for long. Once Katie starts asking questions, secrets rarely stay safe. Over on another front, Taylor and Deacon's relationship continues to heat up, and they're getting dangerously close to crossing a line. Their connection is undeniable, but it's also incredibly risky. Steffi would not approve, and let's not forget the looming threat of Sheila, whose reaction could be explosive if she finds out what's really going on. A kiss, or even a rumor, could set off consequences neither of them is prepared to face. On the business side, Steffi and Elektra are gearing up for a major jewelry presentation for a wealthy client. This could open doors to new opportunities and power plays, adding even more pressure to Steffi's already complicated personal life. Business and personal drama are colliding fast, and something is bound to crack. All in all, this episode sets the stage for major revelations ahead. Will Ivy uncover the truth about Will and Dylan? How far will Taylor and Deacon take their relationship before the consequences catch up to them? And will Steffi's bold choices pay off, or backfire? Things are heating up in Los Angeles, and the drama is just getting started. Stick around, because you won't want to miss what happens next. Tuesday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful blended professional triumph with emotional tension, proving once again that success often comes at a personal cost. Steffi Forrester and Elektra returned from San Francisco on a high after their jewelry presentation exceeded every expectation. Their designs captivated wealthy socialite Dottie Bright and her assistant Joseph, ultimately leading to the sale of a custom piece that firmly established the trip as a major win for Forrester Creations. While Steffi celebrated the professional victory, she couldn't ignore the subtle shift in Elektra's mood as the day unfolded. Back home, emotions quietly intensified as Dylan and Will spent time together while babysitting Hayes. What began as a simple, lighthearted afternoon turned into something deeper, marked by shared laughter, honest conversations, and a growing sense of connection. Their chemistry became increasingly obvious, not only to themselves, but to anyone paying close attention. As Dylan let her guard down, it became clear that her bond with Will was evolving into something that could complicate more than one relationship. That complication hit close to home for Elektra. Already feeling unsettled, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was changing between Dylan and Will. Her unease began to affect her focus and confidence, and Steffi quickly picked up on it. In a moment of genuine support, Steffi reassured Elektra, validating her feelings and reminding her she wasn't alone. Though reassurance may not be enough to quiet the jealousy growing beneath the surface. Elsewhere, Carter Walton took a meaningful step forward in his relationship with Daphne. Opening up about his hopes for the future, Carter shared his vision of building a life together, including the possibility of starting a family. His vulnerability clearly touched Daphne, deepening their connection and marking a turning point in their relationship, though questions still linger about whether their dreams will align in the long run. By the end of the episode, the contrast was clear. Professional success stood side by side with emotional uncertainty. While Steffi and Elektra celebrated a business triumph, personal tensions threatened to overshadow the victory. Dylan and Will's growing bond showed no signs of slowing, Elektra's jealousy simmered just beneath the surface, and the possibility of discovery, especially by Ivy, loomed large. In true Bold and the Beautiful fashion, love, ambition, and jealousy are on a collision course, and the fallout is only just beginning. On Wednesday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, tensions quietly but steadily escalated as secrets, ambition, and emotional connections collided. Ivy Forrester found herself at the center of the drama after unexpectedly walking in on an intimate moment between Will and Dylan at the beach house. The discovery immediately put Ivy in a difficult position, forcing her to weigh loyalty against honesty. What she witnessed has the potential to change the dynamic between Will, Dylan, and Elektra, and Ivy now carries information that could unravel multiple relationships if revealed. Meanwhile, Elektra faced mounting pressure on the professional front. In San Francisco, she and Steffi met with a wealthy buyer, making the stakes higher than ever. The meeting represented a major opportunity, but also a test of Elektra's confidence and credibility. As she worked to impress and secure the deal, the emotional strain was evident, especially as her unresolved feelings for Will lingered in the background, complicating both her focus and her personal connections. Back in Los Angeles, Brooke Logan continued to assert her influence, encouraging RJ to work alongside Ridge at Forrester Creations. Brooke's suggestion could mark a turning point for RJ's career, opening the door to greater responsibility and visibility within the family business. At the same time, the move carries its own pressure, as working with Ridge would place RJ directly under the expectations of the Forrester legacy. As the episode closed, Will and Dylan's growing closeness became impossible to ignore. Their connection deepened in ways that threatened to disrupt the lives of everyone around them, setting the stage for emotional fallout and difficult choices. With secrets looming, business deals hanging in the balance, and family expectations tightening their grip, the consequences of Wednesday's events are only beginning to unfold. Thursday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful was packed with tension, emotion, and uncomfortable truths as relationships continued to blur at the beach house. Ivy walked straight into a moment she couldn't ignore, witnessing a close and intimate interaction between Will and Dylan. What she saw immediately set off alarm bells, and Ivy didn't waste a second holding back. Confronting Dylan head-on, Ivy accused her of crossing boundaries and deliberately inserting herself into Elektra's relationship. Fiercely protective of her niece, Ivy made it clear she believes Dylan is a threat and went as far as demanding she leave town altogether. Meanwhile, Elektra found herself unraveling under the weight of doubt. In a quiet but emotionally charged conversation with Steffi, Elektra admitted she can't shake the uneasy feeling that something is happening between Will and Dylan. While Steffi tried to ground her with reassurance and perspective, it was obvious that Elektra's past experiences have left deep scars. Trust doesn't come easily for her, and the growing closeness between Will and Dylan is reopening old wounds she thought she'd healed. Back at the beach house, Will and Dylan continued to grow closer in ways neither of them seemed prepared for. Their connection deepened through honest, vulnerable conversations about their past traumas, creating a bond built on understanding and emotional safety. What started as comfort is clearly becoming something more complicated, raising questions about loyalty, boundaries, and where their relationship is headed. As tensions rise, Ivy's confrontation threatens to ignite a much larger conflict, especially if Dylan refuses to back down. Elektra's trust issues may soon collide with Will's divided attention, and the fragile balance between all three could easily shatter. Elsewhere, hints about Carter's future plans suggest changes ahead that may ripple into his relationship with Daphne, setting the stage for even more drama in the days to come. That brings us to the end of The Bold and the Beautiful for Friday, January 30th, 2026, and this episode delivered emotional confrontations, risky confessions, and a family-shaking revelation that will have long-term consequences. The tension between Ivy and Dylan takes center stage as Ivy issues a harsh ultimatum. Convinced she knows exactly what's going on between Dylan and Will, Ivy demands that Dylan leave Los Angeles immediately or risk being exposed to Elektra. Dylan insists Ivy has misread the situation, but the damage is already done. She's left facing an impossible choice: walk away from her life in LA and protect everyone else, or stay and risk blowing up every relationship she cares about. Either path comes with serious consequences, and Ivy's pressure makes it clear this conflict is far from over. Elsewhere, Deacon and Taylor finally stop denying what's been building between them. In a quiet but emotionally charged moment, they confess their feelings and share a kiss, fully aware that what they're doing could have explosive fallout. Sheila's name looms over the entire moment, even though she remains completely unaware of what's happening. The irony is hard to ignore, as Sheila continues to praise Taylor for helping save her marriage, while Deacon and Taylor cross a line that could destroy it. But the most seismic moment of the episode comes when Brooke finally tells RJ the truth about his paternity. She reveals that Bill Spencer is his biological father, not Ridge, a secret that has been buried for far too long. RJ is stunned, and before anyone can process the moment, Bill overhears the conversation and steps in, asserting his role as RJ's father. The revelation sends shockwaves through the Forrester family and sets up an unavoidable confrontation between Bill and Ridge. Long-standing relationships, loyalties, and family dynamics are instantly thrown into chaos. Friday's episode makes it clear that nothing in Los Angeles is going to stay the same for long. Secrets are coming out, relationships are being tested, and the fallout from these choices is only just beginning. If you enjoyed this recap, be sure to like the video so more Bold and the Beautiful fans can find it. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Was Ivy justified in her ultimatum, or did she go too far? Are Deacon and Taylor playing with fire? And how do you think the truth about RJ's paternity will change everything moving forward? Don't forget to subscribe for daily recaps, spoilers, and deep dives into all the drama from The Bold and the Beautiful. Share this recap with a fellow soap fan, and I'll see you next time as the story continues.